Jake says to Grace, right? As she's busy like outside monitoring Jake, like he hits some glass and he's like, I feel great type thing. I feel great. It's like he's been invigorated, whereas his old body was tired, worn out, and in a wheelchair. And then he gets in this avatar body and there's just an exhilaration, an immediate one at that, to a point where he rips off all the medical stuff that is on him and runs out in the field, touches his feet and digs into the soil and like running, right? And then Grace is like, oh, your reflexes are great, you look like you're good, and then throws him a fruit in Pandora, and Jake eats it and he's like, ugh. He cannot believe what he's tasting. God shows me that scene every single time to not only describe to me the redemption process, but also what we're gonna feel like after the rapture. He shows me that there are some people that, because they were already so youthful and vivacious, and they did not yet have tired, rickety old bones, they are going to basically receive the incorruptible bodies with, oh, this is nice, it's lovely, much like Jake's friend, who was like, relax, they first have to do this and that, you know how there's a friend of Jake's that he wakes up with after getting into an avatar body, and he's more calm, he's more chill, but Jake is just like running all over the show frantic because he came out of a wheelchair. The Lord showed me, he keeps showing me that when after the rapture has happened, there will be people that are just like, oh, happy, rejoicing, they're in heaven, but kind of cool, calm, chill, after receiving their bodies, albeit rejoicing. But there are going to be others that are literally running miles, sprinting up and down, jumping, because they will have either been disabled or old, and so they were like, with like scoliosis, or their backs were bent, having lost much mobility and all that, and the agility that they're going to feel at the rapture once they get their incorruptible bodies is going to make them literally run circles, almost like a marathon, like on the spot, jump up and like unable to gauge what under heaven just happened. And they're going to be just like Jake Sully, like, I feel great, running, ripping off things, and just kind of experiencing the moment. Yeah, predictive programming. So when I say that what we're going to come back as is something on another level, and the entertainment industry, if at all you can piece pieces of the puzzle together, has described at this point much of what under heaven is going to happen. And if you can do a little picturesque view of explaining various movies to people, you give them a scene that is 100% put out in a canvas by the devil to explain to an earth citizenship that are blinded to what he is showing them through the entertainment industry, their fate. So Christians are like the Navi, while everybody else are like the sky people. When therefore you are the tantamount of the sky people, like regular human beings, after second coming of Jesus Christ, and the saints are roaming these streets, walking up and down casually, and you're living with them, can you imagine how small you're going to feel? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine the sense of loss you're going to feel? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine when you're busy walking around in a sky people like body, while Karabo is literally looking like Neychiri or Jake Sully, just as giant? Look, I don't think we're going to be giants, but we are going to be so significantly different from everybody else that it's going to be sad for those that professed Christ but did not repent, but got given an opportunity to stay. They will have aging bodies, while the invigoration of Jake Sully, having come from a place of being in a wheelchair, being a paraplegic, it'll just knock them into sorrow, grief for the rest of their lives. And look, I've already said this, I've already spoken about this before, but I keep raising it again because I guess the Lord wants it to just keep on hammering it down people's throats and chests and whatnot. Reading on still from Joel 2, it is written that a great and powerful people, that's the second coming saints, their like has never been before, nor will be again after them, through the years of all generations. Fire devours before them. And you think me describing us as mutants as blasphemy? No, we're proper going to be like mutants. In the X-Men, fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them. In other words, what we are about to come and inherit is like the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden before they fell could procreate. They lived among the animals, with the beasts of the field, not fighting each other, not hunting each other. They ate fruits and vegetables. Lions ate shrubs, just like giraffes. Nothing was dangerous. Hey, but guys, as in, I am not even out in these streets trying to kid to you. I had a dream of a dinosaur roaming these streets, dinosaur, like dinosaur, walking around, just kind of hanging out. Just like proper. It would be like sighting a dog in a neighborhood or a cat in your complex, just walking on walls among people. A dinosaur. I was like, whoa, God, you have shown me a lot about the millennial reign, but are you telling me that dinosaurs are coming back? And the Lord, I believe, has confirmed to me that yes, they are. I was like, why in the world would you bring dinosaurs back? And the Lord was like, precisely because they are no longer going to be a danger to the human race. Hey guys, with the sighting of the dinosaur, and I've seen it in like one vision in broad daylight, a whole dinosaur roaming these streets, and a dream, right? Where dinosaurs, proper Jurassic Park vibes, but with no danger. And the Lord making it clear that the reason why dinosaurs are coming back is because it will no longer be dangerous for human beings. Why the Lord extincted the dinosaurs in the first place was because after the fall of Adam and Eve, those beasts became dangerous for people. They were too gargantuan. They would have, remember, we were given dominion over the animals before Adam and Eve fell. But after we fell, animals started to consume each other for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if at all we were in there, grill, us too. So dinosaurs became a hazard for human life. They were too gargantuan to stay ensconced in one ecosystem. So as big as they were, God took them off the face of the earth for the sake of thriving the human race. After Adam and Eve fell, dinosaurs had to get extinct. They had to. Otherwise, we would not have been safe in our cities. We would have struggled to capture them, to subdue them. Right now, when lions escape the zoo, a lot of people survive it. And they just call the animal capturers and whatnot, and they do a thing. Imagine if a whole giant, like, whatever their names are proper, like Nike Libets. When was the last time I was in grade 4? Like, relax, okay? Yeah, imagine something so big as that. You're gonna need like a helicopter, a couple of them, a giant net. It's like King Kong, like on the mountains. Like, it's just too much. It would be too much. So God allowed them to be eroded off society. And I believe God also is letting me know that pretty much every animal that is extinct was extinct, like mammoths, dodos. They're coming back. They're coming back like edges after using rice water, proper ziabuya. When the Bible says creation groans to see the sons of God revealed, I believe one of the reasons that is even a thing is because some of creation got neutralized off the face of the earth after we fell, because of the weather disasters that come as a result of God judging the lands for our sin. The fact that they eat each other, they consume each other, they knock each other out from the food chain, just whatever it is that has caused the death of many plant and animal species, that is no longer going to be an issue anymore. So now creation is going to rejoice because we're finally going to be revealed at the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, following which dodos are going to be able to live at peace. What is this? Mammoths, dinosaurs, like all that. It's going to be such a wonderful world. When I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It's probably going to be wonderful because the lion and the lamb are going to lie next to each other without war. Animals will no longer be dangerous. It's going to be like Eden, like proper. So scriptures like this, they confirm to a little girl and an old girl and a middle-aged girl and a not so middle-aged girl that Eden is our lifestyle in the not tribulation but the millennial reign. We are going to inherit Eden lifestyle without the fall. However, there will be others living among us that are still in regular bodies. But the world that they're going to be living in is going to be so shocking. For the beginning, the entrance into the millennium, the babies, the children born to those with corruptible bodies in the millennial reign are going to be used to living in a world with dinosaurs, with dodos, with lions hanging out with sheep. Do you understand? But those who enter into the millennium are going to get an immediate culture shock. Zoos are no longer going to be these environments. First of all, God caging animals, he's not going to let that happen. Animals are going to roam freely and they're going to live in neighborhoods. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful. They will indeed be like whatever it is that Adam had before Eve came. He named the animals and they walked in front of him and he named them. Animals are going to have that kind of relationship with humanity. Again, the movie Avatar shows that very well. You know how Neytiri, in the end, when things go really bad, that beast that was supposed to devour her rather decided to become her transport. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Predictive programming has shown it in the worst way, and on top of that, it's in the Bible. Fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, but behind them a desolate wilderness. And nothing escapes them. Are you listening to this? So it's going to be the Garden of Eden before us. So what we're about to enter into and establish is the Garden of Eden. But what we're leaving behind is a desolate wilderness. What is this wilderness? It's the earth as we know it now that the plagues have fallen. Remember, green grass has been burned up Oceans have been turned into blood and lakes. People, cadavers, corpses all over the show. The earth, stars have fallen from heaven, creating craters on the floor. Just a massacring of the earth is what God is going to do in the tribulation. So behind us is a desolate wasteland because God laid it waste because of sin. But ahead of us is an Eden we are building. Y'all don't know what you're messing with, guys. Okay, fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, but behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing escapes them. Nothing escapes them. Remember, I spoke about finding people in caves? Remember, we are spiritual beings at this point. So therefore, time and space is not really an issue, meaning that travel is not something that we're going to have to get in an airplane to do, or a car, or get on a horse to achieve. I believe we're going to be able to travel literally at the speed of thought. So nothing will escape us. We are going to be like a horror movie to people that don't know Jesus. They will run from us. You know how in horror movies, you be running away from Freddy Krueger, and the next thing he's right in front of you. It's like, when did you get from there to here? Yeah, that's what we're going to be. To those who have taken the mark of the beast, and those that God will have nothing to do with staying on the earth. They're not going to be able to hide from us. And we're also going to be able to be given understanding as to where certain people are. And once they've been located, we will merely appear in their presence, and they will not be able to escape. Indeed, it is written over here. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, but behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing escapes them. Nothing. Who doesn't want to be that powerful? Their appearance is like the appearance of horses, and like war horses, they run. Amandla, amanye, ahadnok. As with the rumbling of chariots, they leap on the tops of mountains. Because some people are going to be hiding in mountains. Some people are going to be hiding in cracks and crevices of the earth that they imagine nobody can find them at. So we gotta run. Ebatung, guys. Yazi. All these things are so incredibly just splattered all over Hollywood. Like, what is this show? It's not Clash of the Titans, where there is this race of people that is just so fast. So fast. They, like, you know, yeah, nothing. They gallop like horses on mountaintops. The devil is giving ideas to the media to show the future that they're facing. And people are not waking up to see that these things have been described in the Bible already. I believe this book is the biggest inspiration for a lot of Hollywood movies, even though they will not give it credit. Their appearance is like the appearance of horses, and like war horses they run. As with the rumbling of chariots, they leap on the tops of mountains, like the crackling of a flame of fire devouring the stubble, like a powerful army drawn up for battle. Before them, peoples are in anguish. So y'all who think that when we come back with Christ, all that we do is just stand back and cheer Christ on? No. Only for the Armageddon army do we stand back and do nothing. After that, we go for the rest of them. For everybody else, all the randos that took the mark of the beast, and anybody else that the Lord will say, no, that one does not get to stay. Yeah, no, so by keeper, from whatever corners they're hiding in. We're taking them out, so. Guys, oh, this is happening. It's happening. Anyway. As with the rumbling of chariots, they leap on the tops of mountains like the crackling of a flame of fire devouring the stubble, like a powerful army drawn up for battle. Before them, peoples are in anguish. All faces grow pale. Does this not look like the scene in the War of the Worlds when those monsters wreak havoc? Does it not look like the scene of the Earth in Independence Day when the aliens start shooting like beams on the Earth? Hey guys, Satan has shown you what's happening. Before them, peoples are in anguish. All faces grow pale. Like warriors, they charge. Like soldiers, they scale the wall. Hey, guys. They march each on his way. They do not swerve from their paths because we've been given instruction. God is the one that's omniscient and omnipresent, and he knows where everybody's at. So he gives us like GPS coordinates spiritually. He just lets us know. And because he downloads this information into our understanding, guys, downloading of information. Again, another movie that shows this explicitly is The Matrix. You know how Neo goes from being this like fluffy rando guy that doesn't even see the gym, and next thing he can do jujitsu because some download into his like members happens. He can do kung fu. Next thing he just knows things he never used to know, and it happens just like that. They just downloaded it from the mainframe and into his mind just like that. Next thing he got skill. What happens in the movie The Matrix is going to be what is going to happen with us. Like just like that, downloading of power. And then next thing we can do things we never used to be able to do. Understanding, knowledge, like learning. It's just going to be given us. So while we might not be omniscient, we will be given understanding downloaded from the source who is Christ as to where to go, what to do, who to look for, where they're hiding, how to extract them, and our bodies are going to be reinforced in a way so as to make it impossible for them to run from us. That's what Christians do when they return with Jesus. We too are warriors. We're not just cheering our commander-in-chief. We also are making war, and we win. Before them, the peoples are in anguish. All faces grow pale. Like warriors, they charge. Like soldiers, they scale the wall. They march each on his way. They do not swerve from their paths. They do not jostle one another. In other words, just like what you find in war tactics, like proper soldiers at actual war. You know how sometimes they stumble on top of each other's bodies when they run, they fall, they trip and all that jazz. No, we don't jostle each other. We have got such clear paths given us to God that ain't nobody bumping into each other on some sorry brother, sorry sister, but I have to go to like Orlando underneath the couch of a lady to find this particular guy that took the mark of the beast. No, we don't jostle each other. For we have been given that level of accuracy in getting to where we need to get and do what we need to do. That's what Christians do on the second coming. Yo. Very well. Where am I? They do not jostle one another. Each marches in his path. They burst through the weapons and are not halted. So people try to shoot us. They proper like shoot a gun, boo, boo, boo. And according to God, we burst through them. Because how in the world do you kill an incorruptible person that is immortal? How? You can't. You can't. So I don't even know what bullets do in our bodies, whether or not they hit and bounce off like a bulletproof vest, or if they just go through our bodies and out the other side. By the Bible now says that we just burst through them. So we go through a hail of bullets, bunch of gangsters on some boo, boo, boo shooting, and then we just like walk straight towards them. Have you ever seen anything like that in a movie? Yes, you have. Terminator. He doesn't fall. He just keeps impending. That's what believers are going to be like. The devil has already shown you what Christians are going to do when they come back. But he has put these figures in vilified states in movies and glorified the earth that is busy fighting the aliens or that which comes from the sky. Yeah, no. So here comes the man in black in War of the Worlds. Those droopy monsters that grab people, they're the enemies that steal everybody. In Independence Day, it's the spacecraft that wreaks havoc on the earth. When the Lord returns, it's flipped. The earth has already been primed to basically try to make war with these things coming from the sky that have got supernatural powers, and they're probably going to think that they can shoot us, throw fireworks at us, and we're actually going to burn. Instead, we're just going to walk right through them, looking like a ghostly, impending, who is this Okie? Jason in Friday the 13th or whatever. We're gonna like Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street. We're gonna like It the Clown. No matter what you do, Chicky ain't dying. Proper like a horror movie. Like just continuously rocking up. So you need sequels. Except it's God. That's why it's a terrible and great day. This day, it is described as the great and terrible day of the Lord. It's great because it's gargantuan. It's big. But it's also great because it's good for us. But it's horrible for the inhabitants of the earth. They march each on his way. They do not swerve from their paths. They do not jostle one another. Each marches in his path. They burst through the weapons and are not halted. They leap upon the city. They run upon the walls. They climb up into the houses. They enter through the windows like a thief. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know what time it is. Y'all don't understand what's coming. But I'm trying to explain it. Okay. The earth quakes before them. The heavens tremble. The sun and the moon are darkened. Again, a parallel exists in Luke 21, Matthew 24, as well as Revelation 6. The earth darkening, like, the moon not giving its light, etc. Across the scriptures. Across. The earth quakes before them. The heavens tremble. The sun and the moon are darkened. Where am I? Yes. The sun and the moon are darkened. Oh my goodness, I got edits that I need to do. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. The Lord utters his voice before his army, for his camp is exceedingly great. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, think about all the Christians all throughout history rocking up with the Lord. I mean, how many of us are there? And yet there's these 200 million randos trying to come up at God. First, he will destroy them, and then we will destroy everybody else. His army is exceedingly great. Why wouldn't it be? These are the great multitudes that are in heaven. Some of them have been martyred, and they complained and were given white robes and said, wait until the fullness of your brothers has been complete. We come back and ransack the planet before rebuilding. Yeah, guys, the earth is in trouble. The Lord utters his voice before his army, for his camp is exceedingly great. He who executes his word is powerful, for the day of the Lord is great and very awesome. Who can endure it? Who? That is what is described, you guys, about us. That's our part. So those of y'all that don't know what happens with Christians coming with God on horses, we are not spectators of him battling wonke umuntu. We identify, we literally go and we fetch everybody that wants to do hide and seek. Play it. We ain't even trying to play. And in Revelation 19, it is described what happens then to all of them. Devoured, gorged are their eyes out by the flesh, by the animals. They come, the marriage supper. The marriage supper of animals on the earth is the second coming of Jesus Christ. We had it in heaven and we rejoiced, we feasted, and now we're back after like burping. But like I said, our bodies likely don't burp, but we don't know. However, God is then going to be like, animals, now it's your turn. You go eat. Go on now and eat the flesh of human beings. Y'all might be thinking this God is mean. My goodness. And besides, I only thought the mean God was in like the Old Testament. No, God is not mean. He is righteous. He is holy, and he hates sin. And this is how he deals with it. So those of y'all that are just lukewarm, fluffy, flaccid, you as you're playing with the body of Christ, you are living in a burning ecosystems, the fire of which you yet cannot feel. You are unable to currently feel it, but you're about to feel it in the worst way going forward. Let me read the rest of this about the return of the Lord, because you gotta hear this. You gotta hear this. Now that we have read to you guys from Joel 2, the day of the Lord, okay, what's going to happen? And now that you understand the role that Christians are going to play when they return with the Lord. Isaiah 24, judgment on the whole earth. All right, and I also want to read ultimately judgment. What is this? Isaiah 26, so that you can understand. Is it 26? It is, right? Or 29, I stand corrected, I'll find it, where it is that I believe the Lord makes it pretty clear. I think it's 25, but I'll find it, okay? That we're going to be having children in the millennial reign. Basically, families are going to be given us judgment on the whole earth. Isaiah 24. It is written. And there are so many other places, I cannot cover them all. Otherwise, I'll never sleep. Where what's going to happen is described. So just heed, all right? Behold, the Lord will empty the earth, make it desolate. If you read the book of Revelation, guys, like, you know, mankind is always trying to make like God. They're the ones that want to depopulate. If you read the book of Revelation, just in the sealed judgments, a quarter of the earth's population gets killed by death, and Hades, the rider on the pale horse. Yeah, a quarter. People like a quarter. I mean, that's just the beginning. It is calculated by many Bible scholars that by the time the tribulation ends, 2/3 of the earth's population will be dead. Okay, so it's dead, but you get my point. They will be gone. So Klaus Schwab, sorry, but the global elites' desire for 500 million. Not that what's going to be left is far more than that. God is the one that achieves depopulation on earth, not because he wants to depopulate, but because he wants to start from scratch and then populate it with a righteous reign. The Georgia Guidestones that fell apart, God was showing that y'all ain't never gonna prosper to do what I'm about to do. So they fell apart in the run-up to the tribulation. That what it is that the Georgia Guidestone guys tried to achieve, God will show them that I am in heaven and I do whatever I please, and I'm the one that's going to be depopulating this monster. Not because I don't want the earth to be big because there's too many human beings on it, but because they're all too evil. If anything, I said, go be fruitful and multiply. And they decided to go and hook up Planned Parenthood, abort babies, wreak havoc and killing each other, try to depopulate the earth through medical interventions that don't make sense, ransacking human beings' bodies. So what I'm gonna do is show you how you do depopulation and for what reason. It's for evil, not for birth control, just evil. You don't control innocent beings who are babies in the belly, you control wicked people, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. And so that's what's gonna happen. So Isaiah 24, behold, the Lord will empty the earth and make it desolate. Remember, as I was reading now in Joel 2, it is written of the mighty ones that come with God, the saints, that before us is the Garden of Eden, but behind us is a desolate wasteland. Well, here's the parallel passage in Isaiah 24. Behold, the Lord will empty the earth and make it desolate, and he will twist its surface and scatter its inhabitants. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest. As with the people, so with the priest. So lukewarm Christians, boo-hoo. You and your pastors gonna be out in these streets walking around. All of y'all with Joel Osteen, you'll probably be like, what do you call this thing? Crawling on the floor like the snake, eating the dust of the earth with the very preachers that led you astray. That's if you like them. They might actually be put in isolation. Yeah, to continue thinking that you can live la vida loca at the expense of true believers. You're gonna be hanging out with your witchy pastors, your prophet Lovi that is casting out devils with devils, trying to make himself a child of God. With him, will you be roaming these streets on some? But Lovi, why'd you deceive me? Lovi gonna be like, I wasn't even really sure if God was king. I just wanted to make money. But hey, let's try and find an apple to eat. With your priest, you're gonna be roaming these streets, groveling, struggling to find some food. Okay, anyway. And make it desolate, and he will twist its surface and scatter its inhabitants. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the slave, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress. It's so sad. Like, you're gonna be out here in these streets, like walking around trying to find a biscuit with your domestic worker, proper. And your domestic worker might even have like better survival abilities than you because they're used to poverty. So they're gonna be looking at you like, look at this master of mine. My goodness, why am I still tagging her along? I want to be able to run by myself. So your domestic worker might leave you behind. Your master. All of y'all that are slaves today, all of y'all that run slaves, that have like Papa, the prostitute and the pimp are going to be out in these streets, crawling around in these streets, trying to find something to eat. No longer will the pimp be trying to pimp out the prostitute. He'll just be trying to make it. Master with the slave. Okay. As with the slave, so with his master. As with the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. You know, this one, it kills me. It's like with celebrities, like how y'all be loving Beyonce. Like, Papa, in the very stadium where she led you astray, you will all be hunkering down, hoping to hide from the man of lawlessness. With Beyonce and Blue Ivy, since she led her astray. That's coming.